Have you ever taken a vacation and you're planning it for months or weeks to get ready to go? You've looked at the brochures, you've planned your excursions, you're ready to go on this vacation. You get to your destination to start your vacation, you walk into the hotel lobby, you get checked in, you go to your room, and the room and the hotel look nothing like it did on the brochure. Not bad. It's just not like it looked in the brochure, and it definitely doesn't look like you had it in your mind's eye. I think that's the way life works. And I think sometimes, as artistic people, as musicians, we kind of have this expectation of what our final destination is going to look like in the music business. And it doesn't go the way that we had it planned. That doesn't mean that you're not successful, right? I know when I was younger, I had in my mind that I was going to play in a successful band and my definition of success was playing the arenas and the stadiums of the world, flying around in Lear jets and elaborate tour buses and limousines and and we have done those things. We have played, a stadium. We've played some arenas. We do all these things, but it's not at all what I thought it was going to be once I got there. Right? It just isn't. I definitely didn't think it was going to last for 26 years, but here I am, 26 years in the same band. That is a success. We recently did a show here, a local show in Southern California, up in the mountains, and a dear friend of mine came out to the show. He too is a drummer. Matter of fact, he is really a legend in the punk world, right? I mean, this guy has played with Agent Orange. He has played with Dick Dale. He's played he played with Dick Dale for I think the same amount of time I've been in the Sam Morrison band, 25 or 26 years. He's a drummer for the Sonics, and the list goes on and on. He was the first. He did the first lead a Ford record, right? I mean, he's been around forever. Dear, dear, dear friend of mine, and he came out to the show. Had some very nice things to say, and one of the things that I think that he said that really touched me the most, he goes, "Man, you guys got a good thing going on here. The people that come see you guys, they just adore the band, and it's really nice to see these people into you guys, into the band that much." And I was like, yeah, it is a great thing. And it really made me sit back and think about what it is that I had. And sometimes we need that little shot in the arm to set our gratitude higher than our expectations, right? The expectations of riding around in Lear jets and limousines and stuff like that were way different than what my reality is. But my reality is fantastic. Another thing that I really love about my career, and to any young aspiring musician out there, I would definitely say this is something that I highly recommend. Try teaching your instrument to other people. I kind of came into teaching on accident. I worked at I grew up in Littleton, Colorado, and I was working at this music store in the mall. And a guy that was the drum teacher in this particular music store, one day he called in sick to work, but he didn't call his students to say that he wasn't coming in to work. I was in there working my normal shift. Well, his students started coming in. The store manager said, "Well, Bart, you're a drummer. Go teach Randy's students." I had, you know, I'd helped some friends out in the uh, school band, but I'd never given like formal drum lessons. So I thought, okay, what the heck? I'll give it a shot. I went in. First couple of students were younger kids, easy squeezy. Then this guy came in. Here I am. I think I was probably a sophomore or junior in high school, and this guy was in his 30s, and he comes in to take a lesson. He's taken from this younger kid, and I taught him something. And what happened? Right away, I realized that, hey, I could convey my thoughts and I could convey my message to different age levels and different skill levels of drummers. Now, what this has done is this has allowed me a career to teach young students, and not just young students, anybody that wants to learn and live vicariously through them, because I've had many students go on to have great success in the music business. And I tell you, it's 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 great to see that. It does my heart good. So anybody out there, if you're trying to be successful in the music, definitely go in and try teaching your instrument. Teaching isn't for everybody. I have some friends of mine who are great players, but they don't like teaching. It does take a lot of patience, and you really have to pour yourself into the student. Uh, Sometimes, right? So it can be draining too mentally, and it can be exhausting at the end of the day. But I tell you what, it is worth every bit of it. Another thing that I've really enjoyed throughout my career, and again, I highly recommend it. I'm a published author. I've written a number of instructional books. I've written back when DVDs were viable. I've done, gosh, 3 or 4 instructional DVDs. I've won awards for them. I've written for different magazines and music newspapers, different periodicals. And I remember when we moved into this house, my wife and I, a few years ago, when we sold our old house, I found a box of these old magazines that I had written articles in. And I remember going back and a couple of them I had forgotten about, like, oh my God, I forgot writing for this particular magazine. And looking back on it, some of the articles were archaic, but it was fun to see, right? It was really cool to kind of look back and realize how much I had grown. And it kind of reignited that spark within me that I wanted to do literary work and start writing again. So, because of that, I have written 2 books since we've been here in this house. I've written The Rhythmic Journey and I've written Drum Up Your Business. Both of them are available in hard copy through Hal Leonard, and on the digital version, they are on Hudson Music. Um, Now, man, talk about a milestone. That was a huge milestone for me. Hudson Music, Hal Leonard's one of the biggest music publishers in the world. And Hudson Music, all my drumming heroes are on Hudson Music. Steve Gadd, Greg Bissonette, the list goes on and on and on. And I'm on there with them, and it just feels so great. So that is a really great milestone. So younger musicians, have different little avenues to make your income, but also set those milestones. I want to write a book. I want to write an instructional book, right? Milestones, I would be remiss. I mean, we're in the music business. You record your first album, right? You want to do an album and you record your first album. That's a huge milestone. That is an undertaking, right? I've recorded many albums, but when we moved into the house here, I did an album of my own music under the banner of The Ruins with some dear friends of mine. Had some great players on there. Stevie D from the band Buck Cherry recorded some solos and helped produce one of the songs. I'll put some links to those videos in the description to this video uh, here on YouTube. You can watch some of those videos. Man, that was such an undertaking, and it was such a milestone to get my music because as a drummer, I've written music forever, but a lot of times you're the guy in the back and you don't get writing credits on the album. So putting out an album of my own music, I just absolutely, it was a huge milestone for me. So use those milestones, right, to kind of measure your success. I also I have to throw this in there. Sometimes people say, well, success isn't about money, said the broke person. No, success. I gladly take my paycheck for gigs, my royalty checks for albums and books and um, lessons. I'm not a nonprofit. I do get paid for this stuff. But the things that I get from that also feed my soul. And I think that as creative people, we really need that, right? So, yes, take your payment for it. That's not even the icing on the cake. That's the sprinkles on top of the icing that you get paid to do something that you love to do, right? But make sure that along the way you don't lose yourself in the business, right? And don't lose the love of the business or the love of music because of the business, I should say. Because it's a hard business, man. It'll eat you up and spit you out. It just will. I'm honest with everybody about that. All of my students that have ideas of what it is that they want to do, I'm honest with them. It is not an easy business. But again, set your gratitude higher than your expectations. Really work hard at it. Have a great work ethic. Blow love into it, and it will come back at you, I promise. And you know what? It's like anything else in life. You're going to have huge challenges. You're going to have huge setbacks. But if you focus on the gratitude, you focus on the milestone, and you focus on the successes, and you keep moving forward, even when you get to your final destination and it doesn't look like what you thought it was going to look like, you can probably look around and go, you know what? This is pretty cool. I'm doing what I set out to do. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this, please like and subscribe to my channel. I would greatly appreciate that. If you're a drummer and you want drum lessons, reach out to me at my website, bartrobley.com. Check out my books; they are in the description below. And if you want some music business coaching, that's another big part of my business. Is I coach musicians all over the world. That's the one nice thing about the internet and Zoom. I literally have students all over the world, whether it be drumming students or coaching students. I would love to help you. So feel free to reach out to me at my website, bartrobley.com. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.